In previous video series, we have seen the implementation of linked list using array, which is quite complex while performing the operations like creation, display, etc. Okay, and there is also a limitation on the size of array. In advance, we need to declare the size. And all these things implementation, all this link implementation using array, we have used memory addresses as a pretended memory addresses. Okay, here we are going to perform the linked list operations and creation of linked list using a concept called as dynamic memory allocation. What is this dynamic memory allocation? Okay, here the linked list get created at runtime, means that every node get the memory space at the runtime. The list, we need not to specify the memory size required for creating the list. That will get performed at runtime only. So see here first of all what is this dynamic memory allocation and how we can use this for creating the linked list. Okay. Now programmers can dynamically allocate the memory space while program is running, but the programmers cannot create a new variable names on the fly. Okay, we can allocate the memory space at runtime, but we cannot create the variables at the runtime. For that purpose, we need to remember two points while creating a dynamic memory. First, create the dynamic space by using the spatial operators. Okay, and store its address in a pointer variable. So here we need a concept called as pointer. Before going to start implementation of linked list, okay, go to this pointer concept. Okay, so we need a pointer variable. Basically pointer variable, what it does, it holds the addresses. Okay, it holds memory addresses. This we need while we are creating the dynamic space in memory. As similar to memory allocation, there is a concept called as memory deallocation. It is nothing but clean up the space used for variables or other data storage, and it is the responsibility of programmer to deallocate it dynamically. Okay, for deallocation again there is special operator, that both we will see in next slide. Okay, dynamic memory allocation refers to performing memory management, but that memory management is again in manually, but we are showing that it perform at the dynamically. Okay, memory in C++ divided into two parts. Okay, before going to the allocation of dynamic memory, first we need to how the program get allocates memory. In C++, memory for program memory get divided into two parts. For program memory get divided into two parts. First is called as stack and second is called as heap. So stack contains all the variable declarations inside any function. Okay, and for that variable declaration the memory is taken from this stack. Whereas heap, it is the unused memory of the program. Unused memory means in program you have declared some variables. Okay, for that variables, depending on the type of that variables, memory get allocated, but in program actually you have not used that variables, so it is unused space. So that all unused space gets stored or get collected in heap, and that heap is used for creating a memory space at the runtime. It means that heap is used for allocating the memory space at the runtime. That is for dynamic memory management. Okay. Now, which special characters used for creating this memory space in C and C++? We will see in both languages which operators are used for creating memory space. But while implementing, I am going to use a C++. Okay, I am going to use C++ only. So to allocate space dynamically, In C++, one unary operator is used called as new and followed by the type for which we want to allocate the memory. For example, here new integer, it means that this new is a keyword for allocating memory dynamically. Okay, so the meaning of this statement is that we are allocating a memory for integer type of data. Memory get allocate for integer type of data at runtime. Then new double dynamically allocates a double type. Dynamically allocates the memory for double type of data. Here memory get allocated for the array of 60 which hold the integer type of data, but these statements are not so meaningful. What this new operator does, this new operator allocates memory for a particular type of data and it returns the address of that memory. It returns the address of that memory, address of that memory. Okay, but in this statement we have not hold that address. So how to hold that address? We need a pointer variable. See, in previous slide I said that while creating a dynamic memory space we need two things. First, create a dynamic memory space using a operator, and once we created, store that address into a pointer variable. So here we have created dynamic memory space, but we have not hold that address. So to hold that address we need a pointer variable. How to declare pointer variable? Type of that variable. Okay, here we have taken integer, then pointer variable name which hold the address. So if I say p is equal to new int, then it dynamically allocates a memory space for integer type of data and address for that memory is stored in p variable. Address of that, okay, memory stored in p. So p holds the address where we can store integer type of data. Okay, same as for double. This is about C++. Now what about C? How to create a space in runtime? So for that, in C there are function malloc and calloc. Okay, I'm just talking about the malloc because calloc is same as the malloc, and these functions we can also use in C++, but it is not recommended by C++ to use this function. So instead of this function in C++, new operator is used. So what is meant by malloc and calloc? So malloc is used to dynamically allocate a single large block of memory with a specified size, and it returns a pointer of type void which can be cast into a pointer of any form. Okay, for example, here temp is equal to cast type, means which type of data you want to reserve memory. Then malloc, okay, byte size is nothing but how much memory of that type you want to allocate. Example, this temp is a pointer variable which hold the address, okay, which hold the address is equal to need to allocate the memory for integer type of data, and how much memory for that integer? That is 100 integer data into size of integer, how much bytes required for integer into 100 means there are 100 integers data for which we want to create the space or create the memory, and every data contains a size of integer type. So if we consider size of integer type as 4 byte, then 100 into 4 byte is equal to 400 byte get reserved, okay, or get allocated, and temp will hold the address of first byte only. Temp will hold address of first byte. See here, okay, 100 into 4, that is 400 bytes block size get allocated or get created, and from that it takes the first byte address of integer type, and then it is saved into pointer variable called as 10. Here is an example how to use this malloc. Okay, we have taken one pointer variable of integer type. Okay, then so here we have used the cast type of the value written by malloc. So whatever value written by malloc, it will get converted into integer and then assigned to ptr. Then integer I, these are the variable declaration, n is equal to 5. So we want to create a memory space for 5 elements of integer type at runtime. So we are using malloc n into size of that all n elements of integer type. So here we have used int. So 5 into 4, that is 20 bytes get reserved, 20 bytes get allocated. Okay, and its starting address written by this malloc function, which is again converted into integer and stored into ptr. Now you might get an idea about this malloc function. Okay, now once that address get written, we need to check that whether the memory get allocated or not, so that we can check it by using pointer is equal to null. Okay, pointer is equal to null. If space is sufficient, then address will be memory get reserved. If space is not sufficient, if memory there is no space in memory, then allocation get fails and it returns the null. It returns a null pointer. So we have to check whether pointer contains the null. If it is, then memory is not get allocated. If it is not null, it means that memory get allocated. Then we can store elements into a continuous memory block. See how? There are 5 elements. Okay, we want to store at runtime. So its for loop ranges from 0 to n, and in every location pointer of I, we are storing the element. Okay, we are storing the element. So pointer of 0, first, second, third, fourth, at that we are storing element, and then we are printing here element. Okay, this is about the malloc function. And new operator we are going to use in implementation of linked list, so you will get more clear idea about the new operation. Now C++ support the functions, these functions malloc and calloc, as well as it also supports new for allocation of memory at runtime. What about deallocation? Deallocation means cleaning up the memory used by the variables. This is also the responsibility of programmer. So how to deallocate that memory? In C there is function called as free, which dynamically delete the space used by the variable. It means that whatever the elements stored in that memory space, that get deleted, and that memory space get free for the next allocation. Okay, for the next allocation. See that this concept up till now we have not used. Okay, in array the deletion get performed physically. It means that it deletes the element. If you see in array concept or in array unit delete operation, while we are performing delete operation, we are just overlapping the next element into the memory location where which we want to delete. So it just perform the overlapping as a delete. But here delete means we are logically also deleting that element and physically also deleting that element. In C we are using free function, and in C++ we are using delete function. Okay, this is all about the dynamic memory allocation. Now we are going to start actually implementation of linked list using dynamic memory allocation concept. So this is the list. Now to create this list we need to create the structure. Okay, because using that structure we are creating the same type of nodes. We are creating the same type of nodes. So there should be each node have a each node have a same structure, that is data and pointer, data and pointer. So instead of writing every time that structure, what we will declare that structure in common, and that structure we will going to use while creating the node. So what is the structure for every node? That is data and link or next pointer. So we are using a concept called as structure of which node. So struct node, and that first part is data and second part is next. Now why here we have used pointer? Because next is holds the address. So to hold the address we need a variable to be declared as pointer, variable to be declared as pointer. So pointer next means it hold the address of what? Address of what? This 200. At 200 what is stored? It stores the node. It stored the node. That node contain data and again address. Store the node. So this pointer variable is of node type. Okay, node type which has this structure, data and address, data and address. Okay, so this is applicable for every node in the list. So instead of writing it repeatedly, what we do it in common, and directly we can use this structure when we want to create the node. Okay, the remaining things we will see in next lecture.